this is exciting that so many things that have been edited out from us that are indigenous are coming back because we have a promise that before this 3D age world ends, everything that has been edited out will be restored back to us to empower us to the next level of our bioconscious evolution, into the next level of what it means to be a human being. People to make this change as easy as possible by using just raw vibration of tuning forks. So there are 6 tones. Now, there's some people out there that have gone to 9 tones, but I kept the 6 because of the person that received the message to restore the frequencies was told to use the 6. And we don't have time to get into it, but 6 is a powerful number. It's a great number in the universe. It's a great part of sacred geometry. And it's a part of the frequencies that lead us more and closer to the golden mean. And so many wonderful things. There's so many wonderful things to say about vibration and tuning forks in these days. And what we've found out about it is they create a sacred spiral to generate the flow of energy up the spine, tending healthy energy to balance chakras. The spiral encodes itself as is called a matrix of energy. And that word matrix is interesting, but in my Hebrew Bible study years, found out meant womb.
Oh.
So it's created, yeah, isn't that powerful? Yeah. So these forks, using them, opens the womb of consciousness for the other dimensions to begin to come in and intone into your third dimensional body, raising the frequency of a third dimensional body, which is under the name of resurrection. This is what resurrection means. Nice. Changing and raising the frequencies of our bodies out of 3D to become a more light body of 5D. And there's no better way to do that than to use these frequencies and tuning forks. When I was getting the download, I thought, okay, what do I do? Do I go to a 7th? Because the brain thinks linear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
And I was finding that I was curving into more vertical thinking. So what came to me was use all 6 of the forks to make the 7th. When I get to the crown, I put all the 6 forks.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And tap them all at the same time and get that synergetic crown chakra experience. So,
which kind of makes sense because the crown chakra is white light, right? Which is when you split it up, it's all the colors.
Very good. That's white light. That's not over. I have them on a xylophone where you can hear them really good. You really want what I call raw vibration. You don't want it to go through music. You don't want technology. And that's why I love these forks, because you can use them anywhere. You don't have to plug them into the grid. They're just wonderful.
Well, that's a good point, because there's so much of this stuff, especially on YouTube, like all these solfeggio frequencies. Play this when you go to sleep. What's your view on that?
I've resolved we live in the world of technology. There's nothing I can do much about it. But the thing I keep telling people, when you see someone on Facebook, that's not your friend. That's an image of your friend. Yeah. It's not like being in the presence of a friend. So technology is interpreting our real world to us. Yeah. So it's feeding the illusion. The world is in an illusion. It's in a kind of a sleep state anyway. And I think we're feeding that some with all technology. But to break that by using tuning forks, that doesn't have to be interpreted through technology. You're getting that nothing but pure raw vibration. There's no real melody. Now, I want to say about the solfeggio frequencies is they are not resonant with Western music. See, we've all downloaded Western music as a diatonic scale of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right?
Yep.
These are not that. they're dissonant to that. But here's the thing that is so cool. If you're looking for issues in the energy body that is dissonant, like dis-ease, karmic patterns that have not been balanced, emotional traumas, that's dissonant.
Yeah.
So the physics says that like attracts like, right? So wouldn't it make sense that dissonant frequencies find dissonance in the body? And when dissonant is equal to dissonance, it turns into resonance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When you get two things alike that join, then they are tuned to a resonant sound. So when I use these forks on people and they're going, ooh, I don't like that sound. And what I said, good, we found something. We found something dissonant in the first chakra, something that happened to you the first 7 years of your life, even in conception. Something has entered into your energy body that is not resolved. And so I will take that and we'll work with it. And then I'll tap two together and have two dissonant forks. And all of a sudden it just changes. And we go, oh, how beautiful that sounds. Because dissonant was turned to resonance.
So basically it was out of tune.
Out of tune. Yeah.
It's a side question. So do you think that all this, 440 hertz kind of music, heavy metal, do you think that's feeding disease?
Well, good question. I do think, I know when I came into just like meditating or something like that, I couldn't meditate to Western music. I mostly went to Eastern music, kind of Hindu type music or something like that, because they were out of the 440A scale, which if you study it is called 12-tone temperament. And if you understand that, that means on a piano, there's white and black 12 keys that go to C and closes the octave.
Yeah.
Well, that's boxed in music. This keeps us boxed in to reductionism. Okay. In other words, everything is specialized and belongs to its own self that's separate from everything else. Yeah. It's not holistic. Yeah. So if we're moving toward being holistic, we got to break down those barriers between these dimensions and therefore coming with a different sound. Now, a lot of people are going to 432 hertz, which is good. There's some really good ones out there. So if you get into Mozart, you get into Beethoven, they understood these things. And that's why their music has survived for so many decades and years, is because they tune to different frequencies that boxed in the people. So we're going to take them out of the box.
All right. So we've got our 6 colored forks. So what do we do with them now? Are these more for practitioners and people who are looking to actually use them for healing other people, or are they just as practical to use on ourselves?
I think both. I'm being honest. They were developed to train people to use them, but we have a lot of people who order them and just every day listen, because the power of sound is through the auditory system, through the vagus nerve, and when you put certain frequencies into that, it begins to change us from the deep inside outside. You can use them every day. This one, which in Western music is doe, a deer, a female deer, which is not. In Latin, it is an ut fork or ut quintlaxus. And this represents changing the vibration of the root chakra to the solfeggio frequency. When we do that, then we are able to scan and see what is in the root chakra that is not in tune with the innate part of themselves. One thing I love about what you do, Cambell, is even the name of your podcast here has to do with finding that innate intelligence within ourselves. Yeah. People think we come in here with nothing. No, we don't. We come in here with two different things: karmic debt, but we also come with universal intelligence that is deep within us, but it's not been activated and awakened in people. And that's what I do with these frequencies, is to awaken the potential part of ourselves, that innate intelligence, because that's where we need to hear from, is from within ourselves. We've heard out there. You see
Yeah.
where that's got us. So anyway, each one of these all have a purpose. Now, what's cool about all these frequencies, if you use the Pythagorean idea of numerology, they all will reduce down to a root vibration number, which is always 3, 6, and 9.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what's powerful about that is Nikola Tesla
Yes.
gives us a quote that says, when mankind understands 3, 6, and 9, he will have a key to the universe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, key. Here you go. Now, I come from this, biblical thing in the years. So I've been reading the Bible about the keys of David. David would go and play the lyre or the harp to these kings that were being tormented, and it would go away. He had the keys. Then I read where it talks about how the keys have been given, the keys to the kingdom have been given to Peter. Okay? And I've always wondered, what's the keys? I want the keys. Give me the keys.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, I was thinking of a key like you put in the door. I never thought of a sound as a key, like the key of C, the key of F, the key of D, that there was a combination of sounds that were the key to opening up the universe in us.
Well, you did, David, you did develop a technique using these 6 color tuners for personal use. The entire video is online, available on the page where that product is, Energy Tuners. But let me just kind of touch into it for a second. I think I've got all the mics on this time. There we go. So you start with that root chakra one, like we talked about. You sound it on the puck. And we always do auditory in Soul Energetics first. So you always listen to it first over your ears. So you want to hear it first. Okay. And that's to put the frequency into that vagus nerve, just like he was talking about. You know, that the vagus means wanderer, so it's that nerve that wanders through the entire system. Okay, so you always listen first, then you hold it over that root chakra and let it spin, just in front of that root chakra. Okay, and let it spin. Now for us, it'll spin back and forth. It might go circular one way, it might go circular the other way. But what you're after is when it goes back and forth. When it goes back and forth, then you've achieved balance and you're ready for the next chakra. Okay. So then you go to the next one, sound it, do auditory again, one ear, the other ear, sound the fork again, hold it in front of the next chakra up, which would be the sacral. Okay. Until you achieve balance there. Go back and forth. There's balance. Okay. Then here comes a cool part. We're going to build a bridge between the two. Sound the 2 forks together. And what's going on here, what's important, is not necessarily the 2 frequencies, but what's between them, the interval. So you've got a 396 and a 417. So take 396 and 417, you got a 21. So it's 21 hertz is the interval, and that's the bridge we're going to build from the root chakra up. Okay? Do you listen? Sorry about that. You listen, cross over, corpus callosum, just like we did before, right? We've talked about that. Okay? Then you hold the red one in front of the root and leave the orange one in front of the sacral.
Okay.
And just move the red one up to the sacral until they tap. Okay? So you've just built a bridge. So you balanced each chakra and then you built a bridge between the two. Now you're just going to continue that all the way up. So let's do one more. I don't need to do the entire sequence because again you have it. Listen to the fork. Okay. Listen. Cross corpus callosum. Now we're solar plexus. Now we're trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to live in this world with this body that we incarnated in, and whatever sexuality, race, whatever issues, how are we going to deal with this world, relationship with ourselves? A lot of stuff going on in that chakra. And then it goes back and forth. Okay, you got balance. Now you go back to the red one again. You always start back at the root. So look at it like the root is like a gallon of water, and each chakra is an 8-ounce cup, and and so you're just going to kind of distribute it. Okay, sound the 2 together. Okay, listen to them. Cross over the corpus callosum. Okay, Then hold the root short under or in front of the root chakra, and then hold the me fork, the gold fork, in front of the solar plexus. Okay, and then move the root up to build a bridge up to the next one, and you just build your bridge all the way up the body until you get to, and let's see, now we've got the mic on, so maybe you can use this version of the all seven together.
Mhm.
Oh, it's better with this microphone. Anyway, so then you use them all together. You listen to them. Okay, and then listen to them on the other side. Okay. Now you hold the root. Hold this over your crown. Okay. Hold the root. Come up. Stopping at each chakra. Does it want any more? You know, is it okay? I'm doing this quickly. When you get to the top, yeah, then when you get to the top, you're around your crown chakra. Try to get down a little bit. Looks like my camera's up a little high. There we go.
Yeah, it's spiraling up, but it also looks like the headdresses we see with all the feathers.
Right, the crown,
yeah.
stuff that you see. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So what I'm holding here, these are called swivels. I think I sent you a pair of those.
Yes,
They're
yes.
called swivels. Yeah. So that's a separate product. So you can get just the forks. If you get just the forks, they come with an O-ring, which is how we started. A little bitty rubber O-ring. So if you get just the forks and you get the O-ring, you still use 2 fingers and a thumb, and you're able to still let the there you go. Exactly. So you're still able to let the fork dangle. The idea here is to free up the fork so that the energy moves the fork instead of the fork moving the energy.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Use it that way. But we had a guy in the States here that developed these swivels that really free up the fork and make it more like a pendulum. So those are available separately.
Yeah, and that'll obviously also take out any physical, if people are actually swinging it themselves, and that it sort of takes that out of it. So
exactly,
you're obviously sitting there, so this can be done sitting up for ourselves.
Exactly. Right.
And it's the same technique if someone's lying down and we're giving it to someone else. It's basically the same kind of thing, right?
It's the same kind of idea. It's much more in depth. If you're learning our techniques to use it on someone else, you start by laying them on the back, and you work your way up the back. Then you take all 6 forks and refract around the front, turn them over, and come down the front. So that's an entire technique called the energy vitality technique, and that's what everything's based on. That's phase 1 of our courses. But if you're just using it on yourself, you can do it the way I'm doing it, just on yourself. If you want to use it on a family member, they can either sit up or they can lay down, and you can do what I just did on them. Exactly. And then the entire thing is available as a video, free on the page with this product, the Energy Tuners. So you can see, you can watch the entire thing and not just the demo that I just did. David takes about 30 minutes to go through it. So he goes into a lot more depth about what you're doing and why you're doing it, because David's the why guy. I'm the how. All right. Thanks, Campbell.
Thank you, Tim. Thanks. And of course, all the links to all those videos and everything you'll find below.
And don't forget to use that code. What's that code?
That code AUTO for 10% off the first order.
AUTO,
exactly.
10% off. Use the code AUTO.
Exactly. Links below.
We have people all over the world, trained people. We are translated several languages, and we have certainly made an impact on the collective consciousness, because I'm looking for that certain number. What I mean is that remnant of people, that critical mass, that enough. When this happens enough, then it's going to ripple out throughout the entire collective planetary consciousness.
Great.
And that's what we're striving for. So if you're out there and you feel the call to be a light worker, we're talking to you today.
Remember, in the end, nobody wins unless everybody wins. Come on!